The US dollar has been the king of global currencies for nearly 8 decades. It is the currency that nations trust, markets depend on, and central banks store as safety. But today, a question is rising everywhere. Is the US dollar slowly losing its global power? And if it is, what comes next? To understand this, we need to go back to how the dollar became so dominant. After World War II, the world needed stability, and the United States provided it. The US economy was strong, its gold reserves were huge, and global trade needed a reliable anchor. So in 1944, countries agreed to make the dollar the world's reserve currency. This meant that oil, gold, and almost every major international trade would be priced in dollars. From that moment, the dollar became more than just America's money. It became the world's money. But dominance also brings challenges. Over the past 2 decades, several major events have raised doubts about the dollar's absolute power. The 2008 financial crisis shook global confidence. The United States printed trillions of dollars to rescue its own economy, but the side effect was clear. Nations realized how dependent they were on the decisions of one country. More recently, when the US used dollar-based sanctions against countries like Russia, Iran, and Venezuela, the message to the world became louder. If your economy relies on the dollar, Washington can control your access to global trade. This fear has pushed many nations to search for alternatives. China and Russia now trade more in their own currencies. India is slowly increasing the use of the rupee for some international transactions. The BRICS group is discussing a new common currency for trade. Even the European Union is trying to make the euro stronger in global markets. These steps don't replace the dollar overnight, but together they show a clear trend. Countries want options, and they don't want to depend on just one currency forever. Another major challenge to the dollar comes from technology. Digital currencies and blockchain-based payment systems are creating new ways to move money without relying on the US banking network. China's digital yuan is already being tested for international payments. Other countries are exploring similar systems. If digital currency becomes widely accepted, the dollar's control over global banking could weaken further. But here's the important part. Even with all these challenges, the dollar is not collapsing. It is still used in over 80% of global trade. Most central banks still store dollars because they trust the US economy more than any other. No other currency, whether the euro, yuan, or a BRICS alternative, is strong enough or stable enough to fully replace the dollar right now. The world may want diversification, but it still relies on the dollar's safety. So, is the US dollar slowly losing its global power? The real answer is this. The dollar is not disappearing, but its dominance is being challenged from many sides. The global financial system is no longer unipolar. It is moving toward a future where multiple currencies share influence. The dollar will still be powerful, but it may no longer be the uncontested king. And for ordinary people, this shift could bring big changes, from how countries trade to how inflation works, how oil is priced, and even how stable the world economy remains. If the dollar weakens too quickly, global markets could face uncertainty. But if the transition is slow and balanced, the world might enter a more diverse and decentralized financial era. The story of the dollar is still being written. Its power may be slowly changing, but for now, it remains the heartbeat of global finance. Only time will reveal whether that heartbeat continues to lead the world or becomes one important voice among many.